Now let's get into finding domain and range from our graphs of quadratic functions. Now what's cool about quadratic functions is that the u will continue to get wider and wider as this extends in both directions. Therefore, our domain is always going to be x values between negative infinity and infinity. We don't have to think about that. However, our range, our y values change because there is a maximum or minimum value depending on if the parabola opens up or down. So since this parabola opens down, our minimum y value is here. So -1 is the lowest our y value can equal. But it'll keep on going up forever until positive infinity. So if we wanted to do that in interval notation, our domain is between negative infinity to infinity. But range, we can go from -1, but we can actually equal -1 up into infinity. So we're going to practice inequality notation and interval notation for both domain and range. So here's our next example. Once again, in inequality notation, x is between infinity and negative infinity. Now, since this opens up, this is our minimum. Here, y value is -4. So -4 is less than or equal to y is less than infinity. So this is our domain and range. But now in interval notation for our domain, it'll be negative infinity to infinity for x always. And our range is -4 bracket up to infinity. So now here we need to identify our vertex and our axis of symmetry to get a quick sketch of this parabola. When we know a equals -1, b equals 0, and c equals 2. So for our axis of symmetry, x equals -b over 2 times a, which is 0. So then if we want our vertex, we know it's going to have 0 for our x value. So for our y value, y equals -0 squared plus 2, which makes y equal to 2. So that's our vertex. Now remember, since a is negative, that means it's a sad parabola, which means that our vertex is the maximum. And that vertex is 0, 2. So for our domain, we know that x is going to be between negative infinity and infinity. And for our range, we have a maximum value of 2. So that means we're going to start at negative infinity for our lowest y value and go all the way up to 2, our maximum y value. So in interval notation, domain is from negative infinity to infinity, and range is from negative infinity all the way up to the maximum value, which is 2.